Hello and welcome to this edition of Conversations with Gregory. I'm Gregory Thayer, your host. This is a Vermonters for Vermont initiative, and we're pretty excited here to have a new, fresh candidate for the Vermont House of Representatives with us from the Rutland-Windsor District, and Kevin Winters, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
No S on there.
One of me is enough.
But thank you, and thanks for coming up kind of on the last minute. I was and everything, and we've got some questions. We're going to get a chance to learn about Kevin and your thinking and your ideas and how you want to represent the people in Montpelier under the Gold Dome. It's beautiful up there.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
So as we get started, why don't you talk about Kevin a little bit, and and also your little bit about your background and the district. It's Rutland-Windsor, so that means.
Actually, I'd be representing three towns: Ludlow, Mount Holly, and Shrewsbury.
And Shrewsbury and Mount Holly are in Rutland County.
They are.
And Ludlow, beautiful Ludlow. Ludlow's been hit so hard.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, you live in Ludlow.
Yes.
Yeah, you've got some great people down there. Great little town that you can, when you drive through Ludlow, you can see the devastation from the last storm, and you got hit twice in
we
9
have
months?
had a 100-year flood in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So yes, that is an issue, and we need to address it. And the town's doing a good job trying to address it, but quite frankly, FEMA is stretched too thin.
There's a lot of stuff going on. FEMA's very stretched, and I hear the Corps of Engineers or Army people are going down into the different southern states right now. So that's probably pulling assets away from us and the Northeast here. But it's tough. So
I understand the large projects have been approved, but they literally have run out of money for this fiscal year. So with our retaining pools or ponds or lakes, whatever you want to call them, that are 50 years old, the risk is for them being eroded away in the next one and flooding out 200 plus citizens in the valley. So it's probably the most significant risk that Ludlow has right now.
And that is a valley through
It
Ludlow.
is. There is. Absolutely.
Coming through there and coming off the Okemo mountain range. So tell us a little bit about your background and why you decided to run.
I decided to run because I've been blessed significantly, and frankly, I was thinking there might be a way I could give back. Family of 5, 2 sons, a daughter. By God's grace, they're all doing well. They're very productive. My wife and I have been married for over 41 years, and that's been a wonderful ride, if I may say it that way.
Beautiful. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's becoming rare, isn't it?
Yeah, too rare.
40 plus years in industrial commercial business, mainly in manufacturing management and then sales. I love sales because it involves people, problems that you can hopefully solve. You need to generally stay within budgets and on schedule, otherwise you're not successful.
Yeah.
I've been on a school board for 11 years, survived that.
In Ludlow?
No, that was in New York.
Oh, in New York.
I was in New York State.
Yeah.
No, I actually did enjoy it. But
Yeah.
that can be a very tough position to be in.
School boards are tough positions wherever they are.
Because money is usually tight.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, we're getting tight in Vermont also.
Yeah.
So, I've been an elder at my church for 20 years because people are important to me, and I think the worldview that we settle in on makes a big difference in how our lives turn out.
Yeah.
So once again, I've been blessed. I wanted to try to share. When I was invited to run, in my mind, I said, there's no way. But I promised that I'd look at it, think about it, pray about it. And I put the spreadsheet together, which is the way I problem solve. And I said, I don't see a reason why I shouldn't try. So my fail-safe was to go to my wife, and thought for sure she'd say, what, are you kidding me?
41 years.
We leave in January and February, we go south. You want to stay in Montpelier? And but she didn't.
Yeah.
She said,
nice.
It looks to me like you need to try.
Well, it looks like she wants to give back to the community
She
in
does.
some fashion, too.
She does. She's a very giving woman. So,
yeah, that's beautiful.
so
Nice.
if I get in, I will do my best to represent our towns and hopefully put us in a more moderate track. And because I'd like to see Vermont flourish, not just survive.
So the three polling places in your district, are they all at the schools, like Mount Holly School, Shrewsbury School, and also right in Ludlow?
Actually, there's a town hall in Ludlow. There's a town hall in Mount Holly. I don't know. Well, no, there's a town hall in Shrewsbury also.
Yeah.
Yes, so I would assume,
It's all at the
and I
town
don't
hall.
know, but
Yeah.
I would assume that they're all, that's where all the voting would take
Yeah.
place. Yes.
Well, the people, I'm sure, that live there do
Yeah.
know and
Right.
everything. So
Right.
that's that's important for them, and that they get out and vote. If we could get people out to vote, we try to do all these different things to make it easier for people to vote, including mail-in and getting it right at your kitchen table and taking your time. And some people still just don't vote, and we need to get that up to 90%.
We are privileged
Yeah.
in the United States to have a vote
Yeah.
on who should be leading us.
Well, that's what a representative republic is all about. It's
Amen.
about the people. So.
That's right.
So, what are you hearing out on the campaign trail as you're out there talking to people? I know we talked the other day. You've got some events you're going to go to this weekend, but what are some of the things you're hearing that's going on in people's minds in their towns, families, and their concerns?
Affordability and sustainability.
Yeah, sustainability. That's a good one.
I mean, you and I are fortunate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hurting people out there.
Yeah.
They're afraid of the taxes going up beyond what they can afford. Many are on fixed income. And the regulations and the inflation that is hitting us right now is just making them scared, literally scared. And they're tired of too much overreach from above.
Yeah. What about housing? How's the housing stuff in the
It's-
Ludlow, Mount Holly area?
Yeah, it's tight.
Tight.
It's tight. And just to, well, with the inflation, the costs just continue to go up. And then with the interest rates where they are now, it's doubled
Yeah.
where I was. So, that's a very difficult situation. And before you ask me what the solution is, I don't have a solution. But I am good at hearing what the problem is, getting to the root cause, trying to understand the pros and cons of the different alternatives, and making the best choice we can.
Are people talking about leaving Vermont if things don't change with housing?
Absolutely.
You hearing that?
Absolutely,
Their
they are.
children.
And I try to talk them out of going to New Hampshire. I say they're going to get the money over there too. But
Yeah. Yeah.
no, we're making light, but it's not. It's a very serious situation. If the population doesn't grow, if the tax base doesn't grow, it's a losing battle.
Right.
So we need to spend right, but we also need to grow our towns so that we can continue to prosper. You cannot prosper if you're losing population. So that is one of the local issues that I would hope that we can think about and maybe address.
There's a lot of people running on the Republican ticket and on the Democratic ticket. Right now, the House is made up of 150 members, and there's 30 members in the Senate. And of those 150 members, there's only 37 Republicans, and the rest are Democrats. And in the Senate, I believe it's like 22 to 7 and 1 independent. So there's, so Republicans are outnumbered, and so people are trying to get the balance so that we can have a good conversation.
Yep.
And people talking at all about the imbalance of Montpelier that you're
Absolutely.
hearing? Yeah.
Absolutely. When there's right and wrong, we've got to vote for right.
Yeah.
But when you can compromise to move forward in the right way, we need to figure out how to do that. Mm-hmm. When there's an out of balance situation, you don't have the kind of leverage you need to get to that middle ground and get to a sensible solution as opposed to a solution that's either right or left. And we really need to get to solutions. So yes, I'm hoping that I'll be a small part of getting us back to a balanced legislative body.
Yeah. And that's important, and I think that's what the framers want. You know, they don't want just a super majority. I call it a super duper majority.
Right.
But we need to have that balance, and all people need to be heard.
Absolutely.
And that's really important. You know, before we went on, we talked, Kevin, a little bit about the weather and some of these storms. And I know there's some things up in Montpelier with weather resilience and some of the things they want to do with resiliency in the state. Have you seen any of that? And
most of the vocal individuals
Yeah.
are saying their hands are too often tied to do what's logical and common sense.
tied by state regulators?
State regulation.
Oh.
And so the rivers continue to flood, wiping out where we've organized and improved our environment.
Yeah.
And if we don't figure out how to allow nature to flow where it's supposed to be, if we keep tying our hands, we're just going to keep flooding each other out.
Right.
So, and that's too specific because I don't know all of the constraints, but I think common sense is what we've got to get back to.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Shaw's and Ludlow's been flooded out 3 times.
Yeah, they were closed
Since
for
I've been
almost a year,
They've
weren't
been
they?
closed for a year. It's huge on the population.
Yeah.
It hurts any of the skiers coming in.
And you have a big tax base when it comes to the mountain.
We do. And if we discourage our friends from down south,
Yeah.
we're not going to be in good shape.
Right.
So property values and everything else is
We want
directly
them to
affected
come.
if we can't provide what they're looking for.
Yeah, we want them to come
yeah,
in
we do.
and spend their money.
And then, that's right.
And we like them, some of them, to stay and live and make their home here.
We've got to figure that out. too.
Yeah,
That's correct.
You know, people used to complain I remember when I was younger, not as a kid, but like in my early 20s, people would say, oh, they're from out of town, they're not from here, they're flatlanders. But I'd say, but they chose to live here. They chose to come here and live among us, so let's welcome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's good.
I was born and raised here, but I did move down to Virginia for school for a couple years and everything. But I came back. You know, I love it here. I love Vermont, and Vermont means a lot to me. It's so beautiful. Driving around the state is just absolutely incredible. So, you know, in terms of housing, have you put a lot of thought into housing? You know, I look at I hear a lot of people talking about the over-regulation of housing and everything as being a problem. What are you hearing about housing?
I am hearing that the affordability is not practical. I don't know I don't have a solution for it. As I'm knocking on doors, letting people know who I am and what I think we need to do, I am seeing an awful lot of property that's not well maintained. And
do you think people are afraid to, you know, maintain their properties or upgrade because in the city assessor, the town assessor, or whatever will come in and then re-tax them?
I thought that was an old wives' tale. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there are an awful lot of them that don't have proper siding on. They have the insulation substrate seal, if you will, but not finished. Personally, I don't live that way. I'm blessed with a very beautiful place.
Yeah.
And I would like to maintain it that way, but I do see an awful lot of them that are not in the best shape. And I'm sure they're not happy that way either.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's the case.
You know, well, you know, everything's expensive. Going to the store to buy siding, buy wood, any of that stuff. It's very expensive right now. Everything's gone through the roof. Right. But, you know, we're hearing about a reappraisal coming statewide. You know, so when that happens, it doesn't matter, you know, what your house looks like, they're going to reappraise you.
Well, and we have cold winters.
Cold winters.
So heating in the cold winter, if those costs go up the way they possibly could.
Oh, with the Clean Heat Standards Act, what is that? Act 18.
Right.
That's
got a lot of people scared.
A lot of people.
Right.
Well, there's numbers where that could be anywhere from, you know, Julie Moore, the Agency of Natural Resource, came out 2 years ago, when it was going through the session, that it was like 70 cents a gallon increase. But now they've got reports from their own reports for who they hired to do the reports, that it could be almost $4 a gallon.
I just saw it yesterday from NV5.
NV5.
And
That's
they're
the report.
a think tank that is current, and they're looking at anything from $100.79 to $4 a gallon for diesel, for heating oil. Yeah. Propane's going to go up too. So that's just another scary situation for many of the retired residents on fixed income.
Yeah. And young families just starting out, having
Absolutely.
a baby or two,
Sure.
and want to buy a home. I have a son that wants to buy a home, but houses are just out of control.
Right.
So, what do you think? Do you think we ought to scrap that whole, what is it, S5, the Affordable Heat Act, clean standards for now, and maybe go back to the board? What do you think we ought to do with that?
I don't have enough detail other than to say that we need to know where that money's going to go, how it's going to be managed, so that that's appropriate. I haven't heard that in detail. But in reality, we cannot solve the problem of environmental change by taxing ourselves out
Right.
of the situation. We've got to figure out how to live with the change, which has been going on for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years. But if we can't buy and heat your home,
Yeah.
then other things are going to suffer. So everything's going to go down if we overtax the individuals because we're trying to fix a problem that is huge, but I'm not sure we humans are going to be solving it in the way we're talking.
It seems to me that, we have probably the cleanest water, cleanest air,
Yes.
cleanest environment in the world.
Right.
And we're doing a lot of the right
Right.
things. Vermont is a little smidget of part of the problem.
Right.
And I know our CO2, which you hear a lot about CO2, but we need CO2 so we can have plants. And we
Exactly.
can have these beautiful mountains here in Vermont, and
Absolutely.
So there's got to be a better balance.
Right.
And I just don't know if they're really looking for that.
Well, that is the science. We breathe oxygen, plants breathe CO2.
Yeah.
Without plants, we don't have more oxygen.
Right.
So that balance has got to be looked at. But more importantly, I think we really need to not overstress the system because we're trying to survive, not kill the ones we're trying to protect. So someplace in between is where we need to be, and it needs to be a prudent use of the tax that would be put on it.
And we love our environment. We all love being out there, workplace. Doesn't matter if you're a Republican, Democrat,
Right.
conservative, progressive, Marxist, whatever.
Right.
Everybody likes to be out in
Yes.
the beauty of our God's green earth. This is gorgeous.
That's what brought my parents here 40
Yeah.
year ago.
You a skier?
That's what brought us here.
Yeah?
Their grandparents, they said, hey, you got to have something other than grandparents to bring them here. So they said, what are we going to do? We're going to go to Ludlow where they've got skiing.
Yeah.
We've got streams and a pond on the property.
Nice.
It's beauty.
You
So
stock it?
that's what brought them here. And
You stocked the pond?
they did.
Yeah.
They did. Actually, the talc mine provided trout for numbers of years.
Wow.
And we have one of them up on the wall.
Really?
Not sure my son got it the right way, but no, it was a beautiful thing. We love it.
What are you hearing about crime in your district? You hearing people concerned when they come into the city or the bigger markets? You hearing a lot about crime?
I haven't heard a lot about crime in my 3 towns, but I can tell you that in our local churches, we have people who are watching out for people who would get out of line. Yeah. So even in Ludlow, there's a concern about people who we can't count on treating each other right.
Yeah.
And so yes, we're aware, and we're not afraid.
No.
But it's on the radar.
Yeah.
Even,
people know.
Even in Ludlow, Mount Holly, and Shrewsbury, which is a little hard to understand.
Yeah.
Because we're town communities, we're family communities.
Right. Right.
So.
Yeah, and looking out for one another is a good thing.
Right.
Here in the city or wherever I'm at, when I come out of a building, I always stop and kind of look around, just to see. But you got to be on top of it, and
Right.
and then there's the drug problem, which I think a lot has to do with mental illness and
It's terrible.
Yeah. What are you hearing about the drug problem?
In all candor, my 2 sons were hooked on opioids.
Yeah.
By God's grace, they are free and they're productive now.
Beautiful, nice.
But we've got to address that problem realistically.
Yeah.
You can't just keep putting them through 30-day programs. There's got to be a change. There's got to be a change of heart.
Yeah.
There's got to be incentives for them to do something else. And that's another real concern of mine. I don't know what one legislator is going to be able to do up north, But if I have an opportunity, I do have a lot of experience with it.
Yeah.
10 years of real pain and suffering.
I think a lot of it, and I think I'm hearing it, is family involvement.
Amen.
You know, I grew up, my dad suffered from mental health,
Yes.
mental illness, manic depressive.
Right.
And, you know, but he was very successful. Owned
Yeah.
a couple beautiful businesses, grocery stores, an insurance agency. You know, he did very well, and he was a great dad. You know, I miss him every day. He's been gone since November of 2008. And, but, you know, we attacked it head on.
Right.
We didn't try to sweep it or hide it.
Right.
And I've talked pretty openly on my, you know, when I've been out and about talking to people, because I think mental health issues are the huge issue that relate to a lot of this stuff.
Yes.
You know, from jobs and
Right.
drug abuse, crime, small
Right.
crimes,
Exactly.
stuff like that.
Exactly.
That can lead into the bigger things.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And, you know, they're saying that fentanyl deaths are down in this last year, which is good if it is, because that's a tough one coming over the border. You know, and they're not just coming in the southern border; they're coming in the northern borders.
It's coming all over.
Yeah, I have a brother that lives up on the northern border, right on the border, and they see it, and they see immigration out there all the time chasing these folks, and you know, they tell the residents, let us handle it, you know, and which I don't, you know, we don't need to get our residents involved, and next thing
We don't need a posse out there.
Yeah,
No,
that's why we have law enforcement.
On the other hand, I don't see any value, and that's pretty bold, in safe injection sites.
Yeah.
I have a real problem with that.
Yeah.
Because we need to do something else.
Now that bill did pass, and they're putting
I hear you.
a test center up in
Right.
Burlington, and they want to do one in Brattleboro,
Right.
I believe. So, what is? I think the answer is just no. You know, we just got to get them to detax. I mean,
There's got to be
you have some
stronger
experience
penalties.
now.
There's got to be stronger penalties
Yeah.
for those that are dealing drugs. Pure and simple.
Yeah.
The number of lives that are destroyed by people who are profiting off of selling drugs is outrageous.
Yeah.
And you've got to have a heart. I mean, I love my boys,
Yeah.
but there's no way I'm going to facilitate them continuing in a lifestyle that's not only deadly to them, but affects everybody else around them.
Yeah.
So-
You know, the other one that's concerning too, it's all part of that stuff, is the human trafficking.
Oh.
I'm hearing a lot of that going on in Vermont.
It's terrible.
Our little state of 640,000 people, and you're hearing about human trafficking.
No. I have 3 granddaughters.
Yeah.
I have a daughter and I have a wife. And the message is not only don't, but don't you dare
Yeah.
pick up someone, slow down,
Yeah.
be by yourself. And I hate to have to say that, but it's a
Right.
real warning.
Yeah.
You just never know, and it's not worth taking the chance.
I have a daughter that lives in Chicago. She has 2 daughters and a young son, and my sons here both just have 3 girls. 2 are fresh, brand new, just out of the oven. And but you know, it's like you have to have those conversations.
Absolutely.
As families and stuff, because they want to do things. Going on even a school trip to you know, northern Vermont, or over to over to New Hampshire or something, it can happen. And those people grab them quick.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The numbers that I hear, whether they're correct or not,
Yeah.
even if they're off by 10%, it's way too much.
Yeah.
One life is too precious, but
You know, I remember back a bunch of years ago when I was on the city council, you know, we had a tragic death here, a murder. It wasn't a death, it was a murder. And you know, the police were big on see something, say something.
right.
You know, and I did some of that. I had, you know, uniformed officers sitting in my living room with a house next door that we thought there was some trafficking going on and everything. Well, they were undercover. They weren't in uniform. I'm
Sure.
sorry.
Oh.
Because I would give it away, right?
Right.
But, you know, they did a great job,
Yeah.
you know, and
We have to be looking out for our neighbors.
Yeah.
Got to be aware.
yeah.
And it's
That's
a
the
lot,
key word,
lot
aware.
More, yeah, we've got to be a lot more aware today than we were 20 years ago.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah. So what, so when, you know, if you win or when,
Yes, I'm optimistic.
yeah, you gotta be positive. There's a lot of committees up there.
Right.
Is there anything like money committees or or like different regulatory committees that handle stuff that you'd like to serve on, or like health and welfare?
In all candor,
appropriations?
I'm not aware enough of the different options, and I'm not even aware of how I would be assigned. But wherever I would be assigned, I will pitch in.
Yeah.
Like I said, my experience is solving a problem, managing a problem, documenting the solution, which we need to do that properly. If it's not done properly, we find ourselves more trouble than not. So wherever I'd be, I think finance, not accounting, but actually how to solve a problem.
Careful, I'm an accountant.
I understand that. That's why I pointed it out. We need you experts. But how to spend it is where I think I would be able to help out.
Yeah.
You know, there's
a lot of
risk-reward is the way we need to figure out how, you know, what's the priority.
You know, the Speaker pretty much has the control of that there. In the Senate, it's a little different with the committee on committees, but in the House, it's, and I'm sure the Speaker does talk with her people.
Right.
But the way I understand it, they'll, you know, when you elevate to that body, you'll get a handout, or you'll get a mailer of what your top 3 or 4 committees are, stuff like that.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, and then you get to, so that, you know, hopefully you get something with your expertise, you know, and if not, I'm sure you're a quick study, and you'll dive right in, knowing what I know of you.
I like to believe that I will be a quick study, yes.
Yeah, and you'll dive. And there's a lot of help out there too. Even, you know, both sides will help you on what's going on in the committee, what's been going on, and you know, so you can kind of, you know, get up to speed. Everything has to be reintroduced on the first day because it's a new biennium, a 2-year biennium. So
I was told, if I'm fortunate enough to be elected, that I have a buddy in Jim Harrison.
Yeah, Jim's a great guy.
Super individual.
Yeah, from the Killington-Mendon area.
I appreciate who I've been buddied with in the event that I get elected, and so I'm sure there's some great help out there.
Yeah. Jim does a good job. I've known Jim since he first came to the Rutland area because of the Grocers Association, my parents and everything. So yeah, he's a hard worker, and he does a piece in the one of the newspaper up there in Killington, the Mountain Times.
Yes.
He does a piece up there. So, and your town's kind of abut a little bit, I think, don't they? Or you're close.
Yeah, they're close.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of these elongated regions there, but yeah, he made me aware of articles in the Mountain Times. Just yesterday, as a matter of fact. So
I get his emails, and the articles are in his emails. So I like to read.
To be honest, this whole political thing has been like trying to drink out of a fire hose.
That's a good way to describe it.
So I'm picking up as much as I can, as quickly as I can, but there's plenty of it, I'm sure, that's slopping out someplace.
Yeah. And you guys go into session, I think it's like that second Tuesday, or first Tuesday in January. It's really early.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that, whatever that first Tuesday is, you start. And,
hopefully we're going to get a little introduction before that.
Oh, yeah, there'll be an orientation. You'll have your party orientation. You'll have the whole house. Oh, yeah, you'll have a lot of things, and you'll be getting calls from a lot of people. And then the lobbyists and the special interest groups will start pounding on you, too. So we've got about a little over a minute left. Anything you want to say to the voters and to the people of your district?
Well, I've enjoyed the interaction that I've had, and it hasn't all been positive. But I enjoy the conversations. There is good input, and I think there's a need for change, and I'm ready to participate in that. And I'm encouraging everybody to vote because we are blessed to have that privilege.
Yeah.
And
it's a great privilege.
If they don't vote for me, that's their decision.
Yeah.
But
it's a constitutional right, and everybody needs to exercise it.
We do. We are blessed to have that, and so many people in the world don't have it.
Yeah.
And if we don't vote, we'll lose it.
You know, and it's okay if somebody doesn't agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or us or whatever, as long as it's respectful and there's good information and it doesn't get into personal personal character attacks, stuff like that.
Correct.
You know, and that's okay.
Right.
And, you know, my father and grandfather taught me that. I'm sure your family taught you the same thing, and you've taught your boys and your family, your daughter, and that's important. So
we're human beings. We don't know everything.
No.
So if we don't hear the countering view, we might be missing something. that would get us to a better solution.
Yeah,
So,
and we're not
absolutely.
perfect.
No, no, that's true.
Kevin, thank you very much for
Thank you
coming
for your
in.
time.
So I'm Gregory Thayer, and this is Conversations with Gregory, a Vermonters for Vermont initiative production. Thank you very much. God bless you all, and have a great weekend.
Amen.